I took the night shift because the hotel had no guests. That was the whole reason. The manager said it 3 times during the interview, like he was trying to make the job sound boring enough to be safe. No guests, he told me. No check-ins. No calls. The East Wing is under renovation, the restaurant is closed, and the elevator only works when it feels respected. You sit at the desk from 10 at night until 6 in the morning. You watch the cameras. You write down anything unusual. I asked what counted as unusual. He looked at the wall behind me, where 120 brass keys hung on hooks. If a key falls, he said, write down the room number. I thought he was joking. He was not. That should have been enough for me to leave. But I was 32, unemployed, for months behind on medical bills, and tired of sleeping in my sister's laundry room beside a humming freezer. A quiet desk job at a closed roadside hotel sounded like mercy. The hotel was called the Meridian. It sat off Highway 19, 12 miles outside of town, named Bellwether, where the road bent through pine forest and fog collected in the ditches even on dry nights. It had been built in the 70s, when people still believed a hotel could look glamorous if you added enough dark wood and brass. By the time I arrived, the glamour had rotted into something heavier. The lobby smelled like old carpet, lemon cleaner, and rain. The front desk was a long walnut counter scarred by decades of elbows. Behind it hung the keyboard, each brass tag engraved with a room number. To the left were 6 security monitors showing empty hallways, the parking lot, the pool, the stairwells, and the elevator doors. The manager's name was Mr. Vale. He was thin, gray-haired, and careful in a way that made every movement seem rehearsed. He wore a brown suit even though the hotel had no customers, and kept checking his watch though nobody was waiting for him. One rule, he said, handed me a clipboard. You do not leave the front desk after midnight. What if there's a fire? There will not be a fire. What if someone needs help? His eyes moved to my face. For a second, I thought he knew. Before the hotel, before the laundry room, before I learned how long shame could live in a body, I had been a paramedic. I was good at it too. Calm hands, fast decisions. The person people looked at when the room turned red and loud. Then came the crash on Highway 19. 3 cars, freezing rain, a minivan on its side, a man trapped behind the wheel of a blue sedan, a woman in room 214 of the Meridian, though I did not know that part yet. I quit 6 months later. People said burnout. That was easier than saying I had started hearing the ringtone of phones belonging to dead people. Mr. Vale slid the clipboard closer. If someone needs help, he said, you note the room number. That's it. That's it. I almost laughed. You're paying $28 an hour for me to sit here and write down falling keys. 32, he said, if you stay until morning. So I stayed. At 10:04 p.m., Mr. Vale left through the glass doors and crossed the empty parking lot to his car. He did not look back. For the first hour, nothing happened. Rain tapped the lobby windows. The neon sign outside buzzed faintly. One monitor showed the west hallway, long and dim, with plastic sheets taped over several doors. Another showed the parking lot, where my old Toyota sat alone beneath a flickering lamp. At 11:13, I found the old reservation ledger under the desk. Not a computer printout. A real book, leather-bound, with yellowed pages and names written in blue ink. The last normal entry was dated 3 years earlier. The night of the crash. Room 214. Daniel Ross. Mara Ross. Lily Ross. Age 8. I knew those names. Not because I treated them. Because I failed them. I closed the ledger so hard dust rose from the cover. At midnight, the first key fell. It hit the counter behind me with a sharp metallic sound. I turned. Room 109. The hook on the keyboard was still swinging. For a few seconds, I only stared at it. Then I laughed once, because fear sometimes comes out wearing the wrong face. I picked up the key and wrote 12 a.m., 109 on the clipboard. The lobby lights flickered. On monitor 3, a figure crossed the west hallway. I leaned forward. It was a woman in a red coat, walking away from the camera toward room 109. Her hair was wet. She carried no luggage. The timestamp in the corner read 12 hours and 8 seconds. I looked up from the monitor to the hallway entrance 30 feet away. Empty. The west hallway was visible from a desk. If someone had walked down it, I would have seen them. On the monitor, the woman stopped outside room 109. She turned her head slightly, as if listening. Then she went inside without opening the door. I stood. Then I remembered Mr. Vale's rule. Do not leave the front desk after midnight. The second key fell at 12:17. Room 126. On the monitor, an old man in pajamas appeared in the east stairwell, climbing slowly, one hand on the rail. He looked soaked to the skin. Water dripped from his sleeves onto the steps. I wrote down the room number. The third key fell at 12:31. Room 203. A teenage boy showed up in the elevator camera, even though the elevator doors in the lobby never opened. He stood inside with a skateboard under one arm and blood on his forehead. He looked directly into the camera and mouthed something. I could not hear him, but I knew the words. Help me. By 1 a.m., 9 keys had fallen. By 1:30, 21. Each time, the camera showed someone. A woman with a baby blanket. A truck driver holding his own shoe. A little girl in a yellow raincoat. A man in a suit carrying flowers that had turned black at the edges. None of them appeared in the lobby. None of them made a sound. I called Mr. Vale. The number went straight to voicemail. His recorded message said, "If it is after midnight, write down the room number." At 1:47, the front desk phone rang. I stared at it until the third ring. Then I answered, Meridian Hotel. For a moment, there was only static. Then a girl's voice whispered, "The pool is too cold." I looked at the pool camera. The indoor pool had been drained for renovations. Plastic chairs were stacked against one wall. The waterline tiles were stained where water used to be. On the monitor, a wet hand rose over the edge of the empty pool. I dropped the phone. It swung by its cord, knocking softly against the desk. The key for room 118 fell. I did not write it down. The phone kept knocking. The girl's voice came from the receiver, small and patient. "You forgot me." I backed away from the desk until my shoulders hit the keyboard. The brass tags trembled. I thought about leaving. Not dramatically. Not like a man making a brave choice. I thought about grabbing my coat and running into the rain and never looking back. Then the key for room 214 fell. It did not hit the counter. I caught it. The moment the brass touched my palm, every monitor went black. Then one screen came back. Room 214. Hotels do not usually have cameras inside guest rooms. This one did. The image was grainy, black and white, angled from the ceiling corner. A bed. A nightstand. Curtains moving slightly though the window was closed. Someone lay under the covers. The camera slowly focused. It was me, asleep, wearing the same gray shirt I had on at the front desk. My hair, my face, my hand resting near the edge of the blanket. Beside the bed sat a little girl in a yellow raincoat. She looked into the camera and waved. I ran. I know what Mr. Vale said. I know the rule. But rules are easier to follow when a dead child is not sitting beside your sleeping body on a camera that should not exist. The west hallway was colder than the lobby. Plastic sheets breathed against the walls as I passed. Room numbers blurred in my flashlight beam. 209, 211, 213, 214. The key shook in my hand so badly I missed the lock twice. Inside, the room was empty. No bedspread pulled back. No girl. No sleeping version of me. Just a stripped mattress, paint cans, and a stack of rolled carpet near the wall. Then the bathroom door clicked. I turned. There was no one there. But on the mirror, written in steam, were 4 words. "You chose the driver." My legs went weak. The crash came back, not as memory, but as weather. Freezing rain on my face. Red lights spinning over pine trees. Metal screaming as firefighters cut into the minivan. Dispatch yelling in my ear. 3 critical patients. 1 team. Me in charge. Daniel Ross in the blue sedan had a weak pulse and a crushed chest. Mara Ross, his wife, was pinned in the minivan, conscious and begging me to check the back seat. Their daughter Lily was behind her, quiet. Too quiet. I checked. I saw the child. I said, "She's gone." Then I moved to Daniel because I thought I could still save him. That was the decision. That was the moment my life split. Daniel died anyway. Mara survived long enough to ask me where Lily was. I lied. I told her we did everything we could. I had done what triage told me to do. I had done what training told me to do. But some nights, training sounds exactly like cowardice. Behind me, the room phone rang. Room 214 had no phone on the nightstand when I entered. Now it did. Black plastic. Curled cord. Red light blinking. I answered. Mara Ross said, "You never opened her door." I could not speak. She was alive, Mara said. "No, For 11 minutes. I closed my eyes. No. You knew because she moved her hand. The receiver slipped against my cheek. I remembered. God help me, I remembered. Lily's hand twitching beneath the folded seatbelt. My own voice saying she's gone because if she was alive, then I had to choose, and if I chose wrong, someone would die while looking at me. Someone did. Everyone did. The line went dead. When I returned to the lobby, every key was on the counter. All 120. The monitors showed full hallways now. People standing outside rooms. People in wet clothes, burned coats, hospital gowns, prom dresses, uniforms. Not all from the Ross crash. Not even most. The Meridian had been collecting the unfinished for years. On the clipboard, where I had stopped writing, new entries had appeared in handwriting that was not mine. 204, 214, Caleb Vance. My name. At 217, the glass doors opened. Mr. Vale stepped into the lobby, rain shining on his coat. You left the desk, he said. I was too tired to be afraid of him. What is this place? He removed his gloves slowly. A hotel. For who? For people who are not done leaving. I looked at the monitors. Are they ghosts? Mr. Vale almost smiled. That word makes it sound simple. He walked behind the desk and began placing keys back on hooks. The Meridian was built near the old highway before the interstate moved traffic away. Accidents happen here. Storms, breakdowns, bad decisions, people driving too fast because they thought home would wait. Some came through the doors after. Some only came as far as the sign. Why am I here? Because room 214 requested you. The words landed with a weight I felt in my teeth. Lily is dead. Yes. Then what does she want? Mr. Vale looked at the monitor showing the empty pool. What everyone here wants. To be checked incorrectly. I don't understand. You were a paramedic. You know the difference between a name on a chart and a person in a bed. I said nothing. He placed the key for 214 on the counter between us. You wrote her off before she was gone. That left her nowhere to go. At 317, the lobby lights went out. Only the monitors remained. Room 214 filled the center screen again. This time, it was not under renovation. The bed was made. A lamp glowed warmly. Rain tapped the window. Lily sat on the edge of the mattress in her yellow raincoat. Beside her was Mara Ross. Daniel Ross stood near the door with one hand on the frame. They looked like a family waiting for a late guest. Mr. Vale said, "You can leave before morning." What happens if I do? You keep living the way you have been. I laughed once. It hurt. That is not living. He nodded. No. The front desk phone rang. I answered. Lily said, "Are you coming back?" I looked at the hallway. I don't know how. Bring the right key. The line clicked off. The right key was not 214. I knew that before I looked. On the counter, beneath the pile of brass tags, was a small plastic hospital ID band. Lily Ross. Behind it was another key. Not brass. Silver. No room number. Just one word. Ambulance. I held it, and the hotel disappeared. I was back on Highway 19. Rain freezing on my jacket. Glass under my knees. The minivan on its side. Lily in the back seat. This time, I opened the door. Not with tools. Not with rescue equipment. With memory. I crawled through broken glass and twisted metal. I smelled gasoline, antifreeze, blood, wet wool. Lily's eyes were half open. Her hand moved once. "I'm here," I said. It was the first true thing I had said to her. She looked at me. Not accusing. That was worse. She looked tired. "It's cold," she whispered. "I know. Mom said not to sleep in the car." I cried then. In the memory, on the highway, in the hotel, all at once. "I'm sorry," I said. "I should have opened your door." Lily blinked slowly. "You were scared." "Yes. I was too." I reached for her hand. This time, I did not choose the driver. I did not choose anyone. I stayed with the child I had left behind. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on the lobby floor. Morning light pressed against the glass doors. The monitors were off. The keys hung neatly on the board. Mr. Vale stood behind the desk, writing in the ledger. "Did I die?" I asked. "No." "Did I save her?" He closed the book. "No." That answer broke something small and stupid in me, something that had still hoped the night would rewrite the past. Then what changed? Mr. Vale looked toward the west hallway. "You stopped making her die alone. There are truths that do not absolve you. They only give you a place to kneel." At 6 a.m., Mr. Vale paid me in cash. $32 an hour. 8 hours. $256. He slid the envelope across the desk, as if this had been an ordinary shift. Will the keys fall tonight? I asked. Probably. Do you need me to come back? No, he said. Room 214 checked out. I drove to Bellwether and parked outside the public library until it opened. Then I found the local newspaper archives and read every article about the Highway 19 crash. The facts were familiar. 3 vehicles. Freezing rain. 4 dead. 1 survivor who died later at County General. The article named Daniel, Mara, and Lily Ross. It also named me. Paramedic Caleb Vance received commendation for leadership under extreme conditions. I stared at that sentence for a long time. Then I printed the article and crossed it out with a pen. Not because it was false, because it was incomplete in the way official truths often are. I went to Mara Ross's grave first, then Daniel's, then Lily's. Her stone had a small carved bird in the corner. Someone had left yellow flowers, fresh enough that dew still clung to the petals. I stood there with my hands in my pockets and said everything I should have said 3 years earlier. Not loudly, not beautifully, just honestly. I told her I was scared. I told her I saw her hand move. I told her I chose wrong. No voice inside the word triage, no sign came, because it sounded that was okay. Fear. Forgiveness. I told her she did not have someone beside her. You do not insert confession. The wind moved through the cemetery. But as I turned to leave, I saw a brass key lying on the grass beside the path. Room 214. I picked it up. The tag was warm from the sun. The Meridian Hotel was demolished 8 months later. I know because I was there. Mr. Vale was not. No one seemed to know where he had gone. The contractor said the building had been empty for years, which made no sense because I still had the cash envelope and the key. But when I asked about him, people only shrug in the way they do when a question asks more than they want to answer. Before the demolition, I walked through the lobby one last time. The front desk was stripped. The monitors were gone. The keyboard remained, empty except for one hook. 214. I hung the brass key there. Then I left. I work again now. Not as a paramedic. Not yet. I volunteer with the crisis line 2 nights a week. I sit in a small room with bad coffee and a headset, listening to people in the worst hour of their lives. I do not always know what to say, but I stay on the line. That is something. Sometimes, at 3:17 in the morning, a call comes through with no number attached. There is only static. Then a small voice says, "The pool is warm now." I never know whether I am awake when it happens. I answer anyway. "I'm glad," I say, and after the line goes quiet, I write the time down. Not because Mr. Vale told me to, because some people deserve to be recorded as present. I took the night shift because the hotel had no guests. By morning, every room was full, and the one person I'd spent 3 years trying not to remember finally checked out.